friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cheryl and today I'm here to do the makeup and books tag. So I've seen this tag floating around for a long time. I don't think I've ever done it. I know the original video has since been privated or taken down entirely, so I can't link that below, but I'm pulling these questions directly from Sarah Without an H's video. I'll link hers below. Hers is funny. I would definitely recommend checking it out. But yeah, so all of these questions, I know she edited some of them and added some new questions, so all of these are from her particular video. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. I will warn you guys, I am in no way a makeup expert. I don't even know what I'm doing most of the time until I start. I never have like a plan for my makeup, so we'll just see how this works. Forgive me for moving the camera around so much. I just cannot figure out the angle I want to film at, apparently. And another thing is I don't actually do every step of my makeup that's in this video, such as I don't wear foundation typically. So I will still answer those questions, but I'm just not going to do anything for those questions. So question number 1 is primer, and that is pick a book that left a lasting impression. I don't really use primer because, like I said, I don't use foundation typically. So I did put a little bit of moisturizer on my face before I started, but the book I have chosen for this is Akamath, or A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I know. This book and series and author is not without its problems, but the first time I read this book, it left me in the biggest book hangover. And I typically don't get book hangovers. Like, I can go back to back with books, but I could not pick up another book because it just didn't compare to this one. So it definitely left a lasting impression, despite the fact that the next book and the book after that were not so good. So question number 2 is foundation, and pick your favorite first book in a series. Like I said, I don't typically wear foundation, so I'll give you the book and then we'll move on. And the book I've chosen for this is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone because it's the book that started this iconic series, and it's whimsical, it's fun, it's definitely the most lighthearted of the books, and I just can return to it over and over and over again and feel the same kind of joy I felt when I read it for the first time. So it is definitely probably my favorite book that has started a series, just because I never get tired of this book. So this third one is concealer, and that is pick a character you wish you could get rid of. And I'm gonna pick Bella Swan because she is absolutely useless, and the series probably would have been more interesting without her, honestly. So yeah, she can just like disappear. So question number 4 is powder, and I guess I really just don't do makeup, and that is pick your favorite last book in a series. And for this I have chosen What the Hell Did I Just Read? Like I said in I think my wrap up and my favorite books of the year series, my favorite books of the year video, I think this author is planning to actually continue the series, so it's not the technical end, but I don't know if the next books he's writing are following these characters. So as of right now, it's a trilogy, and this is my favorite ending to a trilogy, mostly because I haven't finished most of the series I've started, so I didn't have many books to choose from. And finally, a question that I actually do my makeup to, and that is eyebrows. Pick a book that you think everyone should read, and I'm just gonna go with Magic Bites because you guys know it's like my latest obsession, so I think everyone should read it. It has a little bit for everyone. It's a paranormal fantasy. There is romance in it, but it's like the slowest burn romance. They don't even consider getting together until like the 4th book, I think. Oh, I've never tried to do makeup and talk at the same time. Oh, lordy. So like I said, they got slow burn, it's got vampires, it's got shapeshifters, not just werewolves, but they can shapeshift into a variety of creatures, and they take the traits of the creatures they transform into. For example, there are were hyenas, and they like cackle and laugh at inappropriate times, and they're very impulsive and sexual and just like all the things that a hyena is, and they are ruled by a matriarchy as opposed to a patriarchy. It's just the villains are also really interesting. They have depth, and the main character doesn't always succeed. She gets knocked down, and I mean, she does get up again, but she's not like other characters in similar series where, you know, she seems to be perfect and that she can't be touched. She gets her ass kicked repeatedly, and she learns from it and trains and strives to succeed, versus other characters who just kind of somehow always win. And she definitely doesn't win on her own. She couldn't do what she does without the help of these other characters. And these other characters are also fascinating. It's not just our main character and her love interest. I'm interested in like all of them. And that doesn't often happen in series. Okay, I underestimated how difficult this is. Props to everyone who has done this video. Or just done their makeup on camera in general. I thought I was going to struggle most with the eyeliner, and I still probably will, but I can't even get my damn eyebrows even. The next question is eyeshadow, and that is pick a favorite, or a book that has your favorite color on the cover. And my favorite color is green. I'm gonna go with this Lovecraft short story collection. I'm not sure how well this shows up on camera. It's foiled with green. So the cover itself is black and it has this really pretty like forest green foil all over it. This edition is beautiful. So how do people like keep a steady stream of consciousness as they do makeup? I'm always so hyper focused when I'm doing my makeup. So like Allie from Allie Corvera's channel, how do you do this, girl? Like she does a lot of chatty get readies with me and get ready with me's. She does a lot of chatty videos in which she's doing her makeup, and I am just now impressed. I mean, I already was impressed with her, but now I'm like doubly impressed because I don't know how she does this. Also, how do you guys do your eyeshadow? I know some people do like one eye completely before moving on to the next eye. Do you guys do that? I always felt like it's easier for me to do it a bit at a time for each eye because I feel like I can keep it more even that way. I'm also not working with the best lighting here, so this is more of a challenge to myself than anything. You guys mind? Zucchini! Stop harassing your brother. Zucchini. I don't care, Zucchini. Anyone else just like talk to their cats? Like not even just like, hey, how are you doing? Do people even do that? Instead of just being like, hey kitty, how you doing? Like to actually like have a conversation with them. Am I alone in this? Because I won't just like interact with them and say hi. I'll like have a full-blown conversation with them as if they're talking back to me. Maybe I just let you guys know I'm even crazier than you probably thought I was already. Does this look good? I don't know. It's hard to tell. We're gonna go with it. So the next question is eyeliner, and that's to pick a dark and mysterious book, and I'm gonna pick Bird Box by Josh Malerman for this. It's definitely a mysterious book because you don't know what the fuck's going on most of the book. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. If not for the book, then for the movie that it just came out on Netflix, which I did watch, and it was good. It just wasn't as crazy as the book was. But this book follows our main character and two children as they are trying to navigate down this river to go to safety. It's also told in flashbacks and shows how the world has led up to these events. Basically, something happens, and when people see this thing, they go crazy. They get incredibly violent and then try to hurt themselves. And you don't know what they're seeing because the main character and anyone who wants to survive has to blindfold themselves. And so these characters are trying to navigate through this world and down this river. It's incredibly mysterious and dark and creepy, and I would recommend it if those are things you like in your books. I definitely enjoyed this one. And if I thought eyeshadow and eyebrows were difficult, how the fuck am I gonna do eyeliner? Oh, please don't judge me. Y'all, it's been so long since I've done eyeliner to begin with, so we'll see how this goes. Do you guys have recommendations for a good like liquid liner, especially like a felt tip one? Because it has been so long since I bought one, and I don't want to spend an arm and a leg on it. So if you guys have recommendations, let me know. This is probably close as I'm ever gonna get to even, so I'm gonna stop all in my head because the last thing I need is to just fuck it up completely by trying to get it even, which is something I do pretty frequently. All right, this next question is mascara, and that is pick a long book. And I have quite a few long books on my shelves and that I've read, but I'm gonna go with Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. I've heard really good things about this book, but this is a mass market paperback, and these are like Bible thin pages. So this book is almost 1,000 pages, so it is definitely a long one and it is intimidating as heck. And for this, I guess I should have told you the products I've been using. I wouldn't make a good beauty YouTuber. For eyebrows, I've used CoverGirl. They recently went cruelty-free, as I found out from Allie, and she uses this and recommended it, so I picked it up and I love it because the tip of it is so, oh, I get to be a beauty YouTuber now. The tip of this is so tiny, so it gives you precision when you're not an oaf like me. As for eyeshadow, I used, obviously, my Naked 2 palette. I've had this thing for years, as you are not supposed to do with your makeup, but you know. And then I've also used a little bit of this Wet n Wild palette that I've had for years as well. You can notice a trend here. For eyeliner, I had the Maybelline Master Precise. This is almost out. And I really need, like I said, I really need to get a new one. As for mascara, I've got the CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume. Once again, found out they went cruelty-free, and this one was recommended, so I picked it up, and it works really well. How do you, like, not stab yourself in the eye when you do mascara? I've been doing makeup for many years and still haven't learned that. Alright, the next question is blush, and this is to pick a cringe-worthy romance. I typically don't wear blush, but for this video, I'm going to. So you would think I'd apply the same logic to mascara, or not mascara, to foundation and concealer, but no, you'd be wrong. Anyway, for a cringe-worthy romance, I have a couple that I can choose from. The first one is from a book I have not talked about yet on my channel, and that is Kingdom of Exiles. And this was a really cheap ebook that I picked up because it's about Fae and it sounded interesting. But this book basically is straight up a Akamath like ripoff, or just a Court of Thorns and Roses series ripoff as a whole. Main character is essentially Feyre, but even more useless than Feyre. There is a Tamlin-like love interest, and their romance is just cringy. And you'll hear more of my thoughts about this book in my January wrap-up, but yeah, cringy romance. And the other one I want to talk about is one that if you've been on my channel a while, you'll know this one, and that is the romance from Accidental Abduction. Yeah, we're bringing it back. This book was the worst book I've ever read, and its romance is the worst romance I've ever read, so it was definitely cringeworthy. So the next one is Highlighter, and that is a a book that brightened your day. So I had a hard time coming up with an answer for this one because I don't read many like happy books. So I'm just dropping things. So I chose the Welcome to Night Vale book, the first one by Joseph Fink. I used to absolutely adore Welcome to Night Vale. I still objectively do. I just haven't listened to it in a hot minute, and I don't think I ever finished listening to it. But this book was a lot of fun to read, and it was nostalgic because it brought me back to this world. I don't even know how to describe Welcome to Night Vale if you've never heard of it. It's basically, it started off as a podcast, and basically it details this town that is not right, which is a trend of things I like apparently, towns that are not right. And it is narrated by Cecil, who is a radio host, and he talks about all the weird events that happen in this town. He is in love with a scientist named Carlos, and them together is just adorable. And to give you like a glimpse into the weirdness in this town is a dog park that no one's allowed to look at or talk about. You cannot enter. There are hooded figures that go around everywhere. There are angels that are terrifying sounding who help this old woman replace her light bulbs. There's a cat that gives birth in Cecil's studio that's floating like, I don't know, 4 feet off the ground as he does, or as she does it. There are librarians who try to kill anyone who goes in the library and like are not human. So there's just all sorts of weird things in this town, but he narrates it as if it is completely normal. And this book was just more weird events. I don't remember the exact plot, but it was good. Like I said, it was nostalgic, so it made me happy. And finally, we come to Lipstick, which is your favorite kiss. Many kisses in the Kate Daniels series between her and the love interest, but the first time they kiss, oh boy! Because like I said, it was a slow burn romance, and you were just anticipating it as the reader. And they had like kissed once or twice before, but it was more so like sarcastic like, can you have a sarcastic kiss? It wasn't done specifically with romantic intentions. It was done like they couldn't control themselves anymore. They kissed and then they were like, now we're gonna go our separate ways. So that doesn't really count. I'm talking about the first time they were like, let's get together, let's bang. And they were like, they kissed for the first time. Oh my God. As you can tell, I loved it. I love this series. I love those two. All I want is them. Just story after story of them. And there's a short story collection from the love interest point of view. I think it takes place in between each book and because I know there are events in the books there are events referenced in the books that are from short stories where you don't miss anything if you don't read the short story, but it just kind of helps. But I want to read everything from their point of view because I need it. Also for highlighter, I just use the shade Booty Call in this palette. It's super light and shimmery and it works best, which is why that shade is down more than any other shade in this palette. My recording cut off, so I'm not entirely sure where it left off on, but I'm gonna go with one that my husband got me for Christmas, and that is the Maybelline, I don't drop the wand, the Maybelline, what is this called? Superstay Matte Ink in the shade Voyager. I like this stuff because it sticks more than any other liquid lipstick I've used besides like the Lip Sense ones. And so I am impressed. Okay, I can't talk as I do this. I'm gonna fuck it all up. I definitely overlined the top lip, so I'm gonna have to fix that in the bathroom later, but yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry that this video is probably a train wreck because I've never done this before, but I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and follow me on all of my social medias, which are always linked down below, and I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye.